All right, I am back with another review, and it's a special one today because the coach we are going to review literally came to my comments on the previous video and asked to be reviewed. So we are going to look at the way he approaches. His name is León, and he's exclusively cold approaching. So it's going to be interesting to see if an expert of cold approach is actually cold approaching the right way. Let's get started.
That's the reason. Wow, you look great. It's a group of 4. Excuse me, actually, where are you from, if I may guess?
I'm Canadian.
Okay, what are you doing in London?
I study here.
You're walking away.
I'm walking away. I have a boyfriend.
All right, so she tells him I have a boyfriend,
That's a reason. That's a good reason. He wouldn't like it.
and he's like, that's a good reason, that's a good reason, he wouldn't like it. When you approach a girl and she tells you she has a boyfriend, you should completely dismiss the boyfriend because he's not with her, so it doesn't make sense to talk about him. And what he's doing here, is like showing some respect, even though deep down he doesn't have any, he's literally approaching the girl. Yeah, like if he wants to really be aligned with what he's doing, he should completely disregard the boyfriend. If a girl tells me I have a boyfriend, I'm going to tell like, okay, and what? And that's about it. You just want to keep going and keep having small talk after that. Because she's literally expecting you like to fuck off by telling you that. So if you are just being like, oh, that's actually a good reason, he wouldn't like it, then you are just doing what she expects, basically. If you don't want to be like seen as a cool, friendly guy, then you want to show her that you don't care. And by the way, Alex, what is this, bro? It's like, I know I'm very picky and I live in Eastern Europe, so we have different standards there. But thin is a line between juicy and fat. And right now what I'm seeing is border. All right, let's keep going.
Are you a photographer?
Occasionally.
She literally asked him, are you a photographer? It's probably the worst question possible. She thinks that he's some TikTok photographer, like, excuse me, I'm a street photographer. Yeah, you don't want to be seen as that guy. That's the first impression he gives to the girl. So the problem is with his looks, the way he looks. If you look like a street photographer, then you should reconsider the way you look. And we can look at his drip real quick, cheap ass sneakers, Nike sneakers. Yeah, some kind of like black pants. I would say like Zara pants, like nothing crazy. He has like a normie plus looks, so of course he's going to be taken as some photographer or something like that. He wants like to level up his drip, basically, like to go higher than this when he does cold approach during the day. It's going to change the whole thing, because yeah, like if a girl tells you, are you a photographer, then man, there is something wrong with the first impression you give. You gotta understand this. He has some little glasses, like some little grandma glasses around his neck. It also has a little bag, it's like, yeah, he's looking like a street photographer. He's looking like that. So yeah, it's not good enough. You want to be at the peak of drip when you are approaching girls. You want to have the best style possible. It will give you a passive 30% boost, and you will be seen as someone cool when you approach, not some street photographer, who's just like asking to take pictures.
Occasionally. I like not having the pressure to work with clients, but I like it, yeah, I do. I guess I noticed your aesthetic. You're from Canada as well? You're from Canada as well?
No, from Malaysia.
Malaysia.
Yes, studying.
I had a bank account there once, that's all I know.
That was good. When someone does something good, I always say it, that was good. It's a good way to start showing her that you are not a nobody, that you are actually hustling, and yeah, like doing some stuff. Of course, you need a balance and you don't need to show off too much, but linking Malaysia to an offshore bank account, I assume he really had a bank account there, so it's a good way like to start showing her that you are making money and that you are not some like wagey.
Not in Austria a lot anymore.
Yeah. Are you from Vienna?
Like my parents are not diplomats, but I just moved to every year somewhere else for the last 8 years.
Okay.
Very nomadic.
Yeah.
You don't want to talk about the fact you are nomadic during the approach. The best girls are girls that are local. So if you just tell them, yeah, I'm always like moving around, I never stay at the same place, it's not a good thing, like you don't want to talk about the fact that you're gonna leave, basically. You want to show her that you are here long term and that it is your city. Very important when you cold approach. Because those guys, what they do is that they jump from cities to cities. I've seen him. He's one day in Warsaw, one day in Hungary, one day in London. He doesn't have one city, where he stays long term. If he was like truly an expert of cold approach, he will know that in order to unlock the best girls, you want to stay long term somewhere. You cannot unlock the best girls by being nomadic. So here he's saying every year, which is not that bad, but still, why would you meet a girl and tell her like, yeah, I'm always like traveling, I'm next year I will be in a different place. It's going to be harder for the girl like to project herself with you, basically, if you are just passing by or if you show her that you have a nomadic lifestyle. So you shouldn't talk about that during the approach. You should like tell her that you live there. Even if you don't live there long term, you can lie during the approach. It's fine. You can say that you live there. It will be always better than just being the guy who is just passing by, who is about to leave. You cannot build anything if you are that guy.
I mean, you're a friendly person. Maybe add me on Instagram. I know you have a boyfriend. I'm not gonna hit on you.
I know you have a boyfriend. I'm not going to hit on you. Do you have Instagram? What he's doing here is hiding his intentions. Of course, he's hitting on her right now. Yeah, it's so weak to do this. It's so weak to approach a girl and end up doing this. Because you literally approach her. It's like super ballsy to approach a girl during the day. Nobody is doing that, right? So you want to be aligned with what you are doing. So first, he was having a nice conversation with her, a nice small talk phase, and he reminded her that she had a boyfriend. You don't want to do that, okay? You don't want to materialize a boyfriend in front of her. It's stupid. Like, he acts like he's respectful, but of course he's not respectful towards the boyfriend. He doesn't know him. So it makes no sense. Deep underneath his layers, he's like, he doesn't care about the boyfriend, right? So he should act like it. And the second thing is that he's acting friendly towards her. He's fucking around, You don't want to be like that. You just want to keep going, Man, like you approached her, you like her, so you gotta keep going. You don't care about her boyfriend or anything, you just keep going.
Deactivated right now.
Oh, why is that?
She's not lying. She's genuine.
I
We're
believe
studying
it.
for our exams right
Ah,
now.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was nice meeting you.
Yeah, have a great day. Enjoy.
So you see what he's doing here is just letting them go. When you approach a girl who is superior, you want to be persistent. You want to at least try, because she doesn't want to give him her Instagram, and he didn't even try to get her WhatsApp or her number. Hot girls by default, they are going to tell you no. So you have to go for it. You have to show her that you want it. And you will be amazed that a lot of times when you show them that you want it, they will end up giving you their contact. I have a lot of examples of girls who at first were hesitant or even rejected me, where I showed them that I wanted to stay in touch with them. And most of them, they ended up giving me their contacts. And when I'm saying that infield footage do not represent reality, is because those guys, they know they are recorded. and they don't want to be too persistent because it could be seen under a bad light, right? Like, oh, that guy is so needy, you know. But man, it's fine. You are literally approaching girls. Like, you go after them. So if a girl is a bit hesitant, then instead of being like, okay, have a nice day, I hope you can take this as a compliment and act like it doesn't matter, you know, for you and that you are cool about it. It's fake, man. Like, it's not being true to yourself. You literally went after her. Like, you liked her and you let her go so easily. All of what you did didn't matter at all. Like, it was for nothing. Okay, you got some content for YouTube, good, man, but you didn't manage to get what you want. So yeah, like, those guys, they don't show you the reality. They don't want like to be seen as the bad guys, you know, so they don't show you like them being persistent. But that's how it is in real life. In real life, you want to go for it. You want to show them that you want it. And you will be amazed. Like, if you keep going, you know, and keep asking, you will be amazed that you will get numbers. You will get more numbers, more Instagrams. Of course, it's important to be respectful, to stay respectful, right? To not be like too intrusive and to not harass them, of course. You want to do it the right way, okay? You want to do it respectfully. But showing them that you want it, it's totally fine. You literally approach them for that. That guy, as I said, is like, yeah, it's cool. I'm cool about it. It's fine. You know, I'm that cool guy. Even when I get rejected, it's okay. But no, like, deep down, he cares. So be aligned with yourself and go for it.
Bye bye. Excuse me. You're waiting for someone?
No,
Probably not for me.
but I'm
No.
going somewhere.
It sounds strange. I was just walking with a buddy. I looked at you. You looked sweet. I
so
thought,
sweet. You're
say
so
hi.
So what he did at the beginning, oh, you're waiting for someone, not waiting for me, right? This is useless, basically. Slight gesture maxing, you know. You want to avoid any type of gesture maxing when you approach.
Have a nice day.
Where are you from?
I'm Greek.
Greek?
Yes.
You, do you know, of course you know Austria.
Yes, I do know.
Some people, I was in the US. I was in South America for 2 months.
Okay.
And then I was in Brazil and Argentina.
And they didn't know Austria.
No, because most people hear Australia, and then you explain Austria, and they're like,
It's another part of the world, but here I think everyone knows.
I think, what got you to London?
Sorry? I'm
What-
studying here
Okay.
at university.
Again, like, if you compare his drip with her drip, she's much more stylish than him. Like, he's a typical POA, you know, the Nike, the all in black looks, you know, no drip, and of course the earrings. Ay, 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 ay. When you approach girls during the day, it's stupid not to be dressed like a king, you know, not to be dressed wearing the best possible clothes. And that guy, he has such a normie looks, man. It's painful to watch, you know. I will be literally ashamed approaching girls wearing that kind of cheap clothes. I'm aiming for the best girls. I'm eating the best food. So for me, it makes sense to just dress in the best possible way.
What are you're so friendly. You have the biggest smile.
It's a Greek people thing.
That's true.
You go to Greece, we're all like this.
I was at dinner with a Greek guy yesterday.
Wasn't he friendly?
He was, how you describe it? He was like super friendly,
Okay.
but he liked to challenge as well.
Okay.
He liked to challenge ideas and stuff like that.
That's interesting though.
How is it for you as a Greek person who's smiling all the time, coming to rainy London?
I love London.
Why?
I don't know. Anything you want is here. Do you live here?
I'm considering.
Okay.
I'm considering he keeps giving to the girls the impression that he's just passing by.
Okay, I love London. I've been here for 4 years now.
Okay. Did you speak English that well before, or you really?
I always spoke English. I think now it's better for sure.
You come from a smart, educated family.
My parents don't speak English that well.
Really?
No, I like to study a lot. I study a lot.
You're a nerd.
Yes, absolutely.
That's good. Me too. Sorry. Not in a stand here. Not in a book.
I've noticed he has done this before also with the other girls, standing against a wall. It's like, again, he thinks he's in some kind of movie, you know. You just want to stand normally without acting like you own the streets, you know. This is so fucking witty, you know. To just stand there, you know, and talk to her. You shouldn't do that. Just have a normal stance, you know, and talk to her normally.
Kind of way, but when I get into a topic, I really want to understand
Oh,
it.
that's nice. That's good.
And I have like a very technical background. Like I went to a technical high school.
Okay.
But that's why I try to be social now more. Because if you're always a nerd and you're very analytical, you go through the world and you don't talk to people.
No, for sure. And it's great to talk to people.
Yeah.
Nice talking to you.
Here, he went a bit too much into autistic stuff, into autistic topics, you know, saying that he sees the world as analytical too much and he wants to talk with more people. Not the best thing to say. You can see it because she literally said like, okay, I have to go now. It was nice talking to you. Like she wanted it to end at that point, you know, because you want to avoid nerd topics when you talk to a girl and logical topics, you know, because they cannot really relate with that. Again, people tell me like, Bane, but what should I say? You only say what to not do, but what should we do? Well, focus on what to not do. Like focus on just being normal. You can actually have boring conversation during the day. It doesn't matter what you say. Again, what matters is who you are, who is approaching the girl. It's the most important, you know. If you want to talk with her, just like do some basic small talk, get to know her, you know, ask about her, talk about yourself. That's about it for the small talk parts. You don't need like to get too much into stuff, you know, like to get too deep with girls. Okay, just like surface level stuff is good enough. Okay, do not overcomplicate it.
Where are you heading? I know you want to run away. I don't want to keep you.
And you see what he's doing here? I know you want to run away. Instead of making her feel more comfortable, he's just validating the fact that she wants to leave. You want to keep this for yourself. You don't want like to tell her, okay, I know you want to run away from me. Instead, you know, just ask like, are you in a hurry? Are you going somewhere? Understand like where she's going, you know, and talk to her about that instead of being like, I understand you want to fuck off, you know, and you don't want to be with me anymore.
Friend.
Keep you.
Friend.
Okay.
Tea. Matcha. The green thing.
I know matcha. I actually considered opening a matcha place.
Really?
That's a different story.
Do you like drinking it?
I did a whole business plan,
Okay.
and then I realized I will lose all my money.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
You want to go? I get it.
Talking about his failed business, not the best topic of conversation, if you ask me. You don't want to talk about your failed business. You want to talk about your wins, you know, like you want to talk about what you are doing, what you are working on. Most of the time, those guys, they just have their coaching business, which is lame, right? Like to just, yeah, I have a coaching business, I'm a dating coach, you know, it's like the lamest stuff you can say to a girl, right? That's why most of the guys, you know, like they don't have like a real job, you know? they don't build real stuff. I always say that I work in crypto because, yeah, after like 10 years building web products, coding, you know, designing, I ended up into crypto. I ended up building crypto product. And yeah, I talk about this if I have to talk about like what I'm doing. I don't talk about my failures. I talk about what I'm doing. You start showing her that you are someone. But yeah, as I said, those guys, they are like coaches. So they always have like to fuck around, you know, and try to talk about something else than their businesses because they are not proud of it. They can't really flex their businesses to girls they meet, right?
But you're so friendly. I want to stay in touch somehow.
Okay.
Right? Maybe we meet for a matcha one day.
Maybe.
You have WhatsApp?
Sure. You give me my number.
As usual, you are friendly. You don't want to say this, you know. You are friendly. Keep this for you. Like, why do you want to make it friendly with her, you know? Just get her contact. Just get her fucking contact, you know, without talking about the potential date, without anything. Just get her contact and tell her you will stay in touch with her, you know, but you don't need like to do all that stuff.
But I have a good number.
Only give it if you're actually going to text back.
No.
Aïe, 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 aïe. So needy, man. That guy, with his little stance. Only give your number if you're going to text back. You want her to text back by herself. I get a lot of guys, who always ask me, Bane, how do I do to have the girl following me back on spot? And I tell them, you don't do it. That's the wrong mindset, literally. You don't want to have the girl following you back on spot. You don't want to force the girl to follow you back. You don't want to force her to send her a text message. You want to give a first impression that is good enough for her to answer your text, to follow you back. That's how you make her follow you back, by approaching the right way. And as long as you are not getting replies, as long as you are not getting follow back from your approaches, you are not approaching the right way. There is something wrong with your approach.
I don't want to. I accept the rejection if you just want to go.
I accept the rejection if you just want to go. It's like, why would you want to make the girl aware of that? Talking about rejection and stuff like that to a girl. Like, it's just destroying all the work you did. It makes no sense to do that. You just want to talk to her normally, and do not, okay, this is a good one. Do not make her aware that it is an approach. It should be a magical moment. So if you talk to her about rejection, about her replying or not, you remind her of what is going on. You are too descriptive, you see what I mean? It's not the way. You want the approach to be magical. When you are enjoying the moment, you don't see the time pass. You are just in the moment and you just have a good moment. You want the approach to be like that. Okay? So if it's going well with her, don't remind her that it was just an approach, and that you are some stranger who approached her. Just stay quiet about it. Do not say anything about that.
What's your name?
Average.
Asking for the name at the end. Usually you want to get it sooner. It feels like you didn't care at all, when you ask the name at the end. It's a little detail, but yeah, it's good to introduce yourself first, early in the interaction, and let her introduce herself back. And you can use the search on Instagram to type her name if she doesn't want to give you her Instagram. It's good to have her name, it's good intel.
Greek number?
Yes, plus 30.
You type it. Your nails match your flag.
See, no, our flag is a bit darker.
But if you mix white and blue, it's gonna be this.
Spring, yes.
Uh,
Call it.
oh, you were fast. Holy shit.
Yeah, call it to see if I type it.
Wait, I'm gonna save it as.
Yeah, what's your name?
London. My name is Alex.
Alex, okay.
So I'm gonna search it now here.
Yeah.
So I should move to London, is what you're saying?
Some people hate it, some people love it.
Doesn't show up here. Is that your WhatsApp?
Yes. Wait,
Ah, it took a while.
that's me.
I'll send you a lollipop emoji.
Perfect. Should get.
You don't want to send messages on site. You want to get her contact, and make sure it's the right contact by just looking at the WhatsApp or at Instagram. If it's Instagram, you want to make sure you can message her, so you can just tap the message button, and make sure there is no restriction or anything like that. And if you cannot message her, you want to show her, look, I can't message you. It's weird, it's strange, you act stupid about it. You don't need to be like, oh, you need to follow me in order to message me. Do not act like the smartest in the room, be like the dumbest. Just show her, look, I can't message you, it's weird. And she will be like, oh yeah, I need to follow you so you can message me. And she will naturally follow you back. That's some advanced game right here that I'm giving to you. That's what we do in the close friends group. We have a lot of good stuff like that. That's the level we are playing at. I have cracked the code, basically. I know exactly each step of the process.
Keep smiling. Bye-bye.
And the keep smiling bye-bye, again, he wants to make it like a movie. You don't, why would you say this to a girl? You just met. Keep smiling. Bye bye. Bro, like, just tell her you will text her and that's it, you know. Stop fucking around, you know. Stop doing all those little gimmicky shit. It's not needed.
That was pretty good. Hold on. Hi. Sorry. Hey.
Alex, come on. That one I can't let this pass, man. It's no. Like, no. You want to avoid this, you know. You want to only go for the best of the best. And the two previous ones were good, honestly. Compared to that, you can see straight away he's lowering his standards, you know. You literally build your standards with time. So he has to take more action, you know, and get more girls in order to only go for the highest quality. You know, you should approach girls you are attracted to, but the more girls you get, the more experience you have, the better your standards will become. And you cannot have good standards straight away. So it's a very good indicator. When you see someone approaching only like the highest quality of girls, you know he has experience. When you see guys approaching girls like that, you know that he is figuring it out still, you know. So it's a good indicator.
How are you?
Hi. Great, thanks.
I don't know you, but
Yeah.
maybe I want to get to know you.
You're very
Maybe I want to get to know you. Of course you want to get to know her. You are there. Why would you fuck her?
sweet, but I don't really have time. It's exam season.
You have exam season.
Yeah.
Oh,
But-
so there's a lot of other things on your mind right now
Yeah,
than meeting
but
a guy.
You're very sweet. Thank
Okay.
You seem like a good person.
Thank you. You're so sweet. Well, then, do you have an exam today?
No, tomorrow.
But you're very stressed right now.
Kind of, yeah.
What's your name? Alex. Nice to meet
Where
you.
are you from?
Born in Austria, but I moved here again. Yeah. Then I don't want to bother you now.
You see what's happening here?
Alex. Nice to meet
Where
you.
are you from?
Born in Austria, but I moved here again. Yeah.
You can't tell me that this guy is natural when he's approaching. That's why I keep telling you should stop watching infield footage, because they are not themselves when they are approaching. So the stuff you will pick up from their infield footage, it's not the way. It's not natural. He knows he's being recorded. And even if he thinks he's good, then it means that he's putting on a show, he's playing a role. Guys who are doing infield footage, they are the ones who are not doing it the right way. Someone who is doing it the right way, he doesn't think about doing infield footage. Let's go to the city center and do infield footage. Like, bro, it just ruins the vibe. Having someone following you when you approach, it's hell, man. You don't want to do that. Those are just marketing materials at best. Those are just marketing materials at best, but they shouldn't be used as pedagogical material. Like, you shouldn't learn watching those videos. It's fake. Okay, it's not the way. You want to learn by yourself. You need to stop looking for footage of other dudes approaching girls online. It's like porn. It's the same thing. It's as bad for your brain as porn when you are watching infield footage. We are watching it together here to tell you what they are doing wrong, okay? So we are not learning anything from them, right? We are learning what to not do. And I try to give you some tips that you can apply to your life. But you should apply it by yourself without looking at me doing them. I am literally telling you, be yourself, be normal, be authentic. So it makes no sense for me to upload infield footage. So then I go out and I see all those mini bands, like doing the same thing. It's about you doing it, finding it by yourself, figuring out by yourself. Of course it's going to be hard. Of course it's going to be painful. It's part of the process. It is part of the process. You need to understand this. We have everything figured out in the close friends group. That's where we are doing it, you know. We are all in the same environment, going for the highest quality of girls, approaching them all together in our respective cities. It's the best learning environment. And I do have some infields in my course, but those were all candidly recorded. I didn't know I was recorded. It was always my wing who recorded me, and I just go through those infields and I explain there what I did. I don't even recommend spending too much time watching them because you want to do it by yourself. Even if I tell you what you should exactly do, you would still have to fuck it up by yourself and understand why you fucked it up. So you better go out, you know, and start approaching to understand how to cold approach the right way. That's the best way to understand. Stop watching infield footage.
Then I don't want to bother you now. I understand how it feels to be full of, you know, deadlines.
You see, it's like he sees the camera and then he's like talking like a political person.
And all this. Maybe we just exchange WhatsApp. I text you and you respond whenever you want.
I don't have WhatsApp.
What do you use?
Maybe Instagram, I don't know.
Okay. Or do you use Messenger?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's better, I think. I know it's crazy. Hungarians don't use WhatsApp. I really don't understand.
Really?
The whole world uses WhatsApp, but there's this little country called Hungary that doesn't do it. I don't understand why.
Okay, so I want to be honest, I am talking to someone right now. So like,
Fine.
maybe.
Now you're talking to two people.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
You won't land in hell because of that. It's fine. It's allowed.
Thank you.
We can do.
Yeah, I'm going to tell it honestly. Alex León is doing better than the previous PUAs we have reviewed, but he still has some layers and some very subtle ones, you know, like the way he gesture maxes is very subtle. Previous approaches, he was like, oh, you're waiting for someone? Not me, right? Ho ho ho. And now he's doing that shit, you know, like, oh, now you're talking to two people. Ho 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 ho. You see, it's interesting because the previous guys I've reviewed, they were like gesture maxing, like it was too much. And here, it's like next level gesture maxing because it's very subtle, but it's still gesture maxing. That guy has been cold approaching using his layers for so long. And I'm sure that before he was like gesture maxing all the time and it wasn't working. So he had to adapt, but he doesn't know about layers. So he kept adapting while having layers. He kept optimizing his layers, and that's the end game. Subtle gesture maxing. You don't want to do that. And don't tell me this isn't fat.
Do what we want. You're not married, right?
Not yet.
So you can do what you want.
Thank you very much. I'm actually going to study. So.
Let's go. Have a great study day. Focus. Don't look at your phone. Bye. Hi. Hello. Sorry, it sounds strange, but you don't look like you're from here, but you're very beautiful. Where are you from? Хорошо. Говоришь по-русски?
Good Russian accent. If you want to speak Russian with a girl, even if you don't know a lot of words and sentences, the most important is the accent. Most of the time, the PUAs who speak Russian, they have a terrible accent and it's actually repulsive. If you have a more like pronounced accent and you don't know a lot of words, it's better not to talk Russian. It's better not to speak Russian.
You married?
I say something nice about him and straight away he goes back into like doing weird shit. Why would you ask a girl if she is married? You have so much questions to ask. Why would you ask if a girl is married? Why would you ask about her like being in a relationship with another dude? Just assume she's single always. You approach a girl you are attracted to, assume she's single. No point asking her if she's married or not. Like, what the fuck?
Okay.
Of course, he's like, no, like, fuck off.
Can I talk to you for 2 minutes?
Can I talk to you for 2 minutes, please?
I'm interested in your story.
bro, it's needy like to ask the permission to talk with her. Just talk with her straight away. You don't need to ask for.
Why did you come to London?
Learn English.
Mm. You can find better. You can find better. You know, it's fine. It's fine. I'm not gonna say anything. It's okay. Like for you guys, it's fine.
Oh, this is a language school.
Yes, every day.
Говоришь только по-русски
Да.
or другой язык?
No. Only Russian.
So,
You were from?
Bro, like, what are zoos, man? Cheap UA style.
born in Austria.
Austria.
Mhm.
I don't know what
Немец.
name is.
She's much more stylish than him. Just like her shoes, you know. I think it's like easy or something. The foundation of the drip is always the shoes. When I start working with someone, we always start with the shoes. You can have like cheap H&M fit and have cool shoes, like designer shoes. It's going to change everything. If you want to invest in designer clothes, start with the shoes.
Да.
But you know Russia. Little.
Not much. I live 2 years in Ukraine.
Okay.
Yes. Why you moved London?
I lived 4 years in Kiev, never saw that guy.
Just
Remember, a Russian girl who is not in Russia, it's always a red flag. Why did she leave? Who is paying for her trip or her stay there? What kind of stuff she's doing by herself in the city? If I meet a Russian girl abroad, I always assume she's high exposure.
I am now your teacher. You can speak bad and slow, but you have to speak English.
Experience, my love.
Experience. You wanted experience.
Yeah.
You see, like she's looking for experience. Ay.
Okay. And are you a person who always needs new stuff every year? And what's your dream country where you want to live? I think about this.
Maybe Italy.
Italy. I think what is best place for weather, lifestyle,
People.
food, people, family. You want to have family?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. But not now. But you think about, okay, where is a good place to raise children, you know?
Yes.
You don't want to bring up like children during the approach. Like, bro, it's way too fast, you know, way too fast. We build relationship, you know, through cold approach, and you have to do it gradually. There are some rules, you know, when you are building a relationship with someone, and you have to do it gradually. You don't have to rush things. And talking about children during the approach, even if it's like not you and her having children, it's still way too fast. Avoid this topic.
You're a sweet girl. I like you.
Thank you.
We should have a dinner, drink.
Yeah.
Not dinner, maybe. It's too much. First date. First date, we can do.
Thursday.
First date.
Date.
Date, yeah.
Yeah. So, look. First of all, as we know, you shouldn't talk about a potential date during the approach. I explained this so many times. I start to repeat myself a lot, you know, during these videos, but anyway. Do not talk about a potential first date during the approach. It goes way too fast. That guy, you know, is like just passing by, so he has to do it, you know, it's his game. But when you do it the right way, when you do it long term, you want to just tell her you will text her later, and you will talk about the date during the texting phase. It's like a gradual build-up, you know. You don't want like to talk about the date during the approach. Very important. Yeah, the reason for that is it goes way too fast. When you go for the highest quality of girls, low exposure girls, you know, that you are playing a long-term game with, not just like to have sex, you know, but to actually build relationships. You take your time. Okay, you don't have to rush anything. So you build relationships slowly, gradually. And not only he's talking about a potential first date, but he's also labeling the meeting as a date. It's the worst thing you can do. When you want to meet a girl, you don't want to say, okay, let's go on a date. Don't say that. No, like don't say this. Never say this. What you want to do instead is just like sell her the idea of the date. Imagine you are in sales and you sell a package, and you are like, I'm going to sell you my offer. So it's the same when you are setting up a date. Basically, you want to talk about where you are going to go and why is it nice. You don't want to talk about going on a date with her, basically. It's too meta, you don't want to talk about that. Those guys, they are super autistic, super analytical, super logical, and they talk to those girls like they are dudes, basically. Oh, we should go on a date together. It's not how you bring it up. And you can see that she's a bit weirded out because she asked her, like, a date? And he's like, yeah, a date. First he talk about the date, and then he label it as a date. It's over for him, basically, at that point.
You have work?
No, not work. No. I won't go work. Shop.
Good. When do I see you again?
I don't know. You can add my number.
I remember saying this to a girl maybe like 6 years ago in Kiev. Like, when do I see you again? And I remember like saying it to Capo, like, yeah, I told her that, and he was like, bro, like, it's not the way. Like, you don't want to give a Slavic girl the lead like that. Okay, like, she wants you to set up everything. So it's not about like, hey, when do I see you again? It's about like you setting up the date. Again, you shouldn't talk about the date during the approach, right? But I'm just talking to you about the dynamic of dating, especially Eastern Europe girls. You want to be in charge. You don't want to tell her like, so when are we meeting? If you do this with a Russian girl, probably not that one, like, she seems a bit older, a bit high exposure, but a low exposure one, like, she's going to give you a blank look, and you won't be able to meet her again because you didn't take the responsibility of dating her, basically. But that girl, she's traveling, she's not living in Russia. She's high exposure, she's used to date guys, so it's kind of easy, he's playing easy mode right now.
I think so, yeah. Are you free maybe?
Today, no.
No, I don't want to do today. Maybe Wednesday or Thursday evening.
You will write, okay?
I will write.
She literally tells him like, bro, like, you are burning too many steps, you will write. That's all you have to say during the approach. I will write, let's write. I will write you. That's all you have to say during the approach. You don't have to say anything more. As I already said many times, the approach shouldn't be too long. It's only a good first impression. Then after the approach, during the texting phase, you can connect with her, talk more during the texting phase, but not during the approach. The approach, ideally, you do around like 1 minute 30, 2 minutes maximum. You don't want to stay too long in the interaction. Most of those PUAs, they try to connect by staying too long, They try to like do stuff, like to say like witty shit and just do all sorts of useless stuff. But I always say this, when you have drip, when you have someone, when you know how to do some small talk, when you know how to talk about yourself without showing off too much, when you know how to get her IG, then that's all you have to do, it lasts like 2 minutes maximum. It's all about the impression you give during that time, basically, so you don't have to do that much during the approach. Most of the work is done afterwards, like during the texting phase, during the dates, that's where it gets like a bit more challenging. But the approach itself, man, it's like 5% of the process. I don't want to discourage any of you who struggle to just approach, but the approach is nothing, That's why I love when I see those guys like being like, yeah, Bane, like Infield footage, blah, blah, blah. Like the other coach, they post Infield, blah, blah, blah. Bro, like the other coach, they don't post receipt like I do. Just go check my receipts, look at the girls I'm getting. You won't find any other coach online who are getting the same girls. They are all getting mid girls. Run through us. I am going for the highest quality. That's why what I say is like the best knowledge you will ever find about cold approach online. And you can say whatever the fuck you want, you know, like about me. It won't change the fact that I am getting the best girls.
I was 18 years old. I moved Moscow. Moscow.
Okay.
Now, uh, how old? 27.
27 years old, bro. You know, we really live in a different reality. I don't go for girls who are more than 20 years old. Literally, like 21, 22, like it's like maximum, you know. 27, it's over, bro. Okay, I respect guys who go for 27 years old. I'm glad some guys are actually going for those girls, right? Someone has to take care of them. But with cold approach, you can meet girls who are still innocent, who are still, you know, like in their 20s, like early 20s. And those are the best girls. Ideally, you want to meet your girlfriend before she start like traveling, you know, doing experiences, as she said. Those guys, the knowledge they have from cold approach is from gaming. Girls who are 27, you know, who are already used to be dating guys. So of course the approach is going to be like completely different from a girl who has like maybe like one body count, or maybe who is even virgin, you know, who knows. It's going to be a totally different reality. Usually, you know, when she's like around like more than 25, you know, you see her. I'm not even going to approach her, you know. It's not what I want. It's not for me, you know, not for me. But I'm glad those guys are keeping them in check. It's important.
Oh,
Хорошо. Yes.
What about you? How old are you?
Too old now.
30, 33?
No. I look. I'm. I will send you this one. It's very cute.
So you see, he has some kind of framework. He always sends a message on spot. You don't want to do that. I'm going to explain you why you don't want to send messages on spot. You are going to pick your little retarded sticker. You are going to send her, and most of the time she's going to ghost you, you know. She's going to see the sticker and not reply, basically. If she's nice, if she's kind, she will reply, nice to meet you, but most of the time she won't reply. And you want to avoid starting a conversation dynamic with a double text. It's better if you just take her contact and message her after the approach, later the same day, always in the evening when you go back home. If you send that stupid sticker, she sees it, and then you're gonna text again after that, you know, it's a bit awkward, right? So optimally, you don't want to send anything on spot. And this guy is telling all his students, like, yeah, like send something on spot, like to start the conversation, you know. You can see it, like he's doing the same shit all the time, but again, it's not the right way, you know. He thinks he's doing the right thing, but if he keeps cold approaching like I do, if he gets more experiences, he will start understanding that, you know. It's something that I understood after doing like so many approaches, you know, in Eastern Europe. And I'm just showing you the optimal way of doing things now. It's just optimal, you know. Like when you cold approach the right way, you reach a point where there is some kind of consensus, you know. Everyone is like agreeing and going in the same direction. And those guys, they are still like at beginner level, you know, like playing with their poop in sandbox mode, basically, you know, experimenting with stuff. But there is clearly a higher level with cold approach. I literally count with my hands the guys who are as serious as I am with cold approach, you know. And as I've shown, that guy is far from getting where we are at. It takes time, you know, it takes reps. It's also important to stay at the same place, which he's not doing. He's like bouncing, you know, from city to city. If you really want to start like cracking the code, you have to stay somewhere long term. Approach at the same place long term. It's essential if you want to get really good at it. Otherwise, you will like stay in sandbox mode, you know, and never really like unlock any high quality girls, because you keep moving, you know, you keep bouncing. So you will only get girls from what we call the welcome committee, who are ready like to date like passerbys, basically. It's like the easy girls. Those girls are not the ones you want into your life.
31. Yeah. Okay. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. You too.
Peace. Bye.
You know, he always has to make it like a bit witty, a bit funny.
Enjoy your day.
Thank you. You too.
Peace.
Fist bumping Russian chicks, like it's like the worst thing to do, bro. It's like the worst fucking thing to do. You know, I've been living in Eastern Europe for a long time now. Nobody is doing that. No guy will ever fist bump a girl he just met. It's uncalibrated. It's completely like inappropriate to fist bump a girl you just met. It's weird, you know, like you don't want to do that. The dynamic here in Eastern Europe is when you meet someone new, a stranger, you are a bit reserved with that person. And I think it's the purest form of social dynamic and it can be applied anywhere. That's why my framework is working well in the West. It's because instead of like being like, yeah, fist bump, you know, yeah, high five, that kind of shit, you know, we don't do at all. Instead of being like overly friendly, you know, and trying to connect as fast as possible, you take your time, you keep your distance, you are more reserved, you know. There are, of course, much more principles to that, but just about the way you interact with them, not touching them during the approach and stuff like that, it works in the West. It's just like those guys, they don't do it, but it works in the West, you know, and I guarantee you, if you approach like that in the West, you will get results. Because girls, I will be like, who the fuck is that guy, you know? He's not like the other one. The Eastern Europe game works super well everywhere in the world because girls here are extremely feminine and men are extremely masculine, you know? Everything is in order. There is no like LGBT stuff, no gay people, you know, like very, very, very little. Everything is like in the natural order here. So it creates the healthiest dynamic possible between man and woman. And if you apply this in the West, then you are going to win because naturally you will repulse them because you will be more masculine and through your behavior, through the way you are, you will touch their femininity straight away. So you will filter out, you know, all the feminists, all the like girls who don't want to be girls anymore. And you will resonate with feminine girls. So it's honestly, it's good to apply it here. If you have the chance to be in Eastern Europe and apply that game here, then it's fine. You do it, you know. But if you are in the West, you can still do it and you can still get good results from it.
Bye.
All right, so now we are going to look at what Alex León is doing with his students.
Excuse me, I have a question. Do you want to marry me?
I'm married.
You're married. My life is destroyed now.
No.
Yeah, you can just stop that one who's coming.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I have one question for you.
Yeah.
You look so elegant that
Yeah.
I have to do this. Do you
Sorry?
want to marry me?
No, I'm already married.
Okay.
Otherwise, I would have to.
So what we saw here, you know, it's that Alex guy, he is making his students do like those exercise, you know, to actually cold approach girls and get out of their heads, you know, and take action. That kind of bullshit, you don't want to do that. That's not how you want to learn cold approach because you start with like the wrong foundation. When you do it the right way and not just like Alex León, you know, at a beginner level, you want to stay low-key in your location. That's the first thing. So it makes no sense to do that stupid shit in the center because if you do this a lot in the center, you know, you're going to be like seen as that guy, you know, like that weird guy who is like doing that. That's one thing. And the second thing is that just imagine you do this with a girl that you could actually have gotten by just being normal and just talking to her normally. But you do that shit, that weird shit, that weird social experiment stuff, prank vibe. And the girl, like, she walk away and you lost a lead, basically. You need to treat all the girls you approach as leads. There is no warm-up. There is no, like, exercise to do or anything. It's just you go out and you go for girls you are attracted to and you get their contact. You shouldn't do any warm-up exercise or any stuff like that. You shouldn't use other people, like, in order to get into a certain state, It's not the right mindset. That's literally what those guys are doing. They are just, like, wasting other people's time, doing their little bullshit. And yeah, it's not how it works. Like, if you have this approach when you start, like, cold approaching, it's the wrong mindset, because you start by taking things from girls, basically, like using them to get into a certain state, and feel better about yourself. You want to go out there and be neutral, basically, when you approach, You don't take too much, you don't give too much, it's like a balance that you do. You talk to them normally, you don't do any stupid stuff, It reminds me of that first guy I reviewed, like, who was doing, like, a desensitivation program. Again, like, yeah, using people to get into a certain state, it's needy as fuck, man. Like, you need other people to get into a certain state. You need other people, like, to feel good about yourself and talk with them. You shouldn't do this, okay? Whatever you feel, even if you feel anxious as fuck, you should be able to approach. I still go out, and I still feel bad sometimes about approaching, but I still approach because I created my framework, in a way that you are able to approach in any state. I've been in the worst states possible in my life, and I still manage, like, to do some approaches. You should completely shift your mentality, and understand that, yeah, the process sucks. It sucks to, like, go to stranger and talk to them. It's not something normal. It's not something usual. So it's fine. If you feel a bit weird about it, you should go anyway and talk to her, Instead of trying, like, to make you feel amazing about it and being that jester, with, like, going around and doing all that bullshit, then you should just be able to approach in any scenarios, in any situation, however you feel, And it's really interesting here because you can see, like, his pedagogical approach, making other, like, do jester stuff. He's doing this so the world makes more sense to him, basically. It's not what is optimal. It's not how you build a relationship with girls, right? Being a jester like that. But it makes sense to Alex León to make you do this. So it reinforces his approach, his method. But yeah, like, that's not how you connect with girls. As I've shown before, it's completely off track. The best way to get started with cold approach, it can't really be sold during a bootcamp because the natural process can take weeks, even months. What you need to do is go out, walk around, see girls you are attracted to, and go for it. And if you are not able to go for it, then you just, like, look at them, see them pass by you, and you will become frustrated about it, You will become frustrated about going out and seeing beautiful girls passing by. You see another girl you are attracted to, and then you go for it. And if you still are not able to go for it, then you let her pass, and you will create even more frustration. If you keep doing this over and over, you will build, like, so much frustration that you will end up naturally approaching. And it might be the worst approach ever. It might be horrible, but it's still progress. You see what I mean? And then the day after, you go back and you approach the first attractive girls you see. And you keep going, it's that's how it is. And the process sucks, it's really something that is extremely hard to do. But it works. And it cannot be sold as a bootcamp because it's over time. It's long term, Everything I try for is long term, whether it's, like, girls or the way I teach. So that's why I made the Close Friends, is because it's a 3-month subscription. You join the Close Friends, you are in the Close Friends, and you take your time, and you do it by yourself. There is nobody pushing you. It's you yourself who is pushing you. And it's the most natural approach possible, because not only I have my receipts, but I also have student receipts who are doing extremely well with that approach. And yeah, like it cannot be sold as a bootcamp. It cannot be packaged as a bootcamp. So those guys who actually do like in-person coaching and bootcamps, they will make you like do that kind of stuff, and make you believe that you are actually making progress. And because you're actually talking to girls and feeling good about it, getting dopamine from it, you will think that you are getting progress. You will think that you are going somewhere. But it's the wrong foundation, it's not how it works. It's not how you build a relationship. What they are doing here is just adding layers and reinforcing layers. You want to remove layers. Before you even think about joining my close friends, before you even think of going out, you want to understand what layers are and how to remove them. And I wrote a book about the subject that you can get today, in ebook or in hardcover. And just by reading it, you will start understanding the concept of layers, and it will transform your life. Without a basic understanding of what layers are, you won't be able to cold approach the right way.
In order to calm the guys down, make them more relaxed, I do a micro meditation on the street. If you want, before this next section, stand up now and follow along, right?
Okay, we can try to put the energy a bit down. So do you feel the feet on the ground?
Yeah.
Can you go a little bit wider to have you're more stable? And you can go a little bit in your knees. You can feel how the energy shifts down a bit, right?
Bro, listen. We gotta talk about like this meditation bullshit, because I have guys who are joining my close friends group and who are like, yeah, I'm doing a daily meditation before I go out to cold approach. A cold approach is literally a meditation. When you go out and you cold approach girls, what you are doing, you are in the moment, you are going around, walking. Meditation is being in the moment, literally. So that's your meditation. You don't need to add any like spiritual meditation to the process. It's complicated enough, so you don't want to overcomplicate it. That's basically the spiritual guy layer who thinks that he can solve everything through meditation. And it's funny because most of those guys, they are always acting like, yeah, like I'm chill, yeah, like I'm doing like meditation. They're always acting like super peace. But, like you bully them a bit and they're like exploding, and they go like nuts, and they do like crazy thing, they throw like the craziest tantrum. It's because they are like containing everything, inside them. That Alex guy, we saw during his first approach when he got rejected, he was like, yeah, he was cool about it, but deep inside he was hurt, he was like, fuck, and it's normal like to be angry when you get rejected, when you don't get somewhere with a girl you are attracted to. It's completely normal. So instead of doing that bullshit meditation, you need to start embracing when you get mad about something, embracing like the pain. Sometimes you need to embrace how fucked the situations you are creating are. Guy, again, what he's doing here is spreading his layers onto others by making them do his useless meditation, so the world makes sense to him. It's not for you like that he's doing it, it's for him. That's the typical layer. You don't need to do that shit, okay? You don't need meditation when you do cold approach. You can do meditation if you are practicing Vipassana, for example, for more than 10 years, and meditation is truly part of your life. Then it's not a layer. Then it's something that you are doing for a long time and that you can speak about, that you can teach people about. But that guy, he's just like doing this because it's lifestyle, because it's cool to do it, So there is no depth to it. There is no substance, It's just a facade. That's how you differentiate a layer from something that is actually part of your personality, something that has substance. And here, what they are doing, a meditation in the middle of the streets, it makes no fucking sense. It's useless. Like, just imagine doing this in your city. You want to stay low-key and you do a fucking meditation in the middle of the street. Useless. All right, so that's it for that review. Alex Leon, I would say, is like not as bad as the previous coaches we reviewed, but his problems are much more complex and much more subtle. And it's due to the fact that he has been experimenting on top of his layers. When you do that, when you use your layers to study, to learn, then you are going to make them even more complex and even more subtle. And it's going to be harder to come back to just being normal for him. You know, he's going to watch that video and it's going to help him a lot, but it's going to be hard for him, even with that video, like to just be normal. You cannot be normal out of nowhere. You need like to understand your layers. You need to catch yourself actually having those layers manifesting, and then you need to avoid doing it. It's a whole process that takes a long time. I would say his biggest problem is that he acts too cool, you know. He's not aligned with what he feels truly. He acts like the cool lifestyle guy going around, you know, and spreading love. He's not aligned with like how shitty the situations get. Another problem for Alex, of course, is it's his drip. Like he needs to upgrade his drip. Again, not as bad as the previous coaches, but not good enough. If you want to truly stand out and give a good first impression during the approach, the style is super important. And his style is like too normie, you know, like too basic, too PUA. They are all dressing the same for some reason. And because of the fact he wants to appear like that cool guy, you know, lifestyle, he won't be able to be like truly persistent with those girls. He doesn't want like to truly reveal his game, you know. Always acting like he wants to be like their friend, you know, always talking about the boyfriend. So yeah, he still has a lot of stuff to figure out before teaching others. That's all for today. If you want me to review a specific coach, let me know in the comments.